Hello, hello. It is day 203 of my 365-day raw suspending disbelief journey. It is November 11th, 2024. It is Remembrance Day. The kids have no school, and actually all my kids are gone. Cadence, my oldest, is at a camp with a friend, and my two youngest are at their dad's. And it has just been a quiet day, and I got lots of work done, and got some more, always every time I always try to get tuned in as much as I can, get as much clarity as I can while they're awake, because it's quieter. I'm more able to hear my intuitive nudges, all of that. And really just it felt very restorative to have a second full day. So usually is if my oldest is gone, she's back by Monday, and she was not until the end of the day, until fairly late actually. So it was really nice. It was really nice to even just have like a few extra hours of reset time really makes a difference as a single mom. So it was awesome. I also, because it was the 11:11 portal. So for any of you who are more spiritual leaning, spirituality leaning, 11:11 portal is it's like a very magical day for transforming your energy, for manifestation, all of that kind of thing. So I did spend a good chunk of time today specifically on um, that kind of stuff, on clearing my energy, on um, receiving messages, on getting some clarity, and also actually because it is the end of the wheel of the year, or it just was at Samhain, which is Halloween for anyone who is not sort of more witchy leaning, or more I don't know what you would call it, pagan, maybe, like just the non-Western calendar leaning. So this is the end of the wheel of the year time, and it is the perfect time for reflecting back and getting clear on our experiences from the past year and what we want for the next year and all of that kind of thing. And actually, I find personally, and that's why I've decided to sort of flow with it like that, is that I find that going into the fall and winter, and I've talked about this probably before on other podcasts, is going into the fall and winter is when we are, like, normally as like hunter gatherers, as human beings, we would be gathering up everything that we can, doing all of the, gathering in all of the crops, all of that kind of thing. And actually, it's really funny because just today, Kelly and I on the Spiral of the Rose podcast released an episode specifically about reflecting back on the past year. And we talked about this quite a bit, where there's this, time of year is where there's like the final harvest. And where the people who would be farming would be gathering the seeds for the next spring as well, and preparing for the year ahead, right? So not just for their winter and the fact that they were going to be cold and it was going to be dark, and without the electricity especially, that is a very quiet time of year. And so they're getting ready to rest and retreat, and also be prepared for the full next wheel of the year, though, for the spring, for the summer, all of that kind of thing. And so this is a time of really, really powerful. It's a really powerful time energetically to be doing your reflection for the past year and prepping for the year ahead, versus the Western calendar New Year, which is dead winter, right? It's in the middle of the winter. It's too late to harvest. It's too late to glean those seeds and set them aside. If you missed it, it's too late by then. So setting your intentions at the new year, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with setting goals. You can do that any time of year, right? But it's just extra powerful at this time of year. you know, uh, Unlike actual seeds and harvest, we can look back and reflect and glean information at any time of the year, but it's just super, super powerful energetically around this time. So that was what I did right around 11:11 a.m. I was, first off, I did do like a gratitude session of just like I am so grateful for my life. I am so grateful for 11/11 here in Canada is Remembrance Day. I think in the United States it's Veterans Day. So we are remembering the people who died for our freedoms, right? And that is to me the ultimate like gratitude session. So I did gratitude first, and then I went into the rest of this and I reflected back and I set intentions and I did all of these things and I pulled cards for myself and um I did a whole big long session, and it was fantastic and very clarifying and really funny, just because the whole episode on the Spiral of the Rose was about um, reflecting back so that we're calling in what we actually want. So when we take the time to get clear on like, okay, what has actually happened? What has actually what have I learned? What has changed for me? What has, this, that, and the other thing. It really helps us to be clear on what do I actually want to call in, because sometimes we can call in things that will backfire on us, that are just, not energetically what we're actually aligned for, not actually what we wanted. We didn't really think it through, or, you know, all of that. And so the whole episode was kind of around that, was about getting really clear on that stuff so that we're not manifesting things that are going to actually burn us like, $1 million, but then it comes in a way where we're having to work 24/7 to earn it, instead of, some easeful, joyful way type of thing, right? That was one of the examples that we used. So, um, very similarly, that was my focus, was to get that clarity. And it was so funny because the messages that I was getting were all like, are you sure you want this? Are you like, and not necessarily saying that there was anything wrong with what I was specifically deciding that I wanted to manifest, but it was just the messages I was getting was like, take the time, get the clarity, because make sure that you actually want what you are calling in. And um, there were a few messages of like, look at the bigger picture, like, and maybe I needed to kind of inspect it further. And so I will be I also had to get some work done. So I had to stop, because like these sessions can really go on for hours and hours if you let them, or if you make space for that, right? And I wanted to make sure that I was really just um it, making the appropriate time for it. So I've set that aside as like, okay, I need to actually like take out my journal maybe and just think about, like, look at it from a bird's eye view, get the big perspective, right? And then, or the bigger picture perspective, and then um, revisit the goals that I was setting, revisit the intentions that I was setting. And it was like, I haven't finalized them yet. I got this clarity, and I was writing the things that I wanted and all of this. And then it was like, but pause, just pause before you give like the final, yes, this is what I want, because there's maybe something that I'm missing. So I'm not sure what that is yet, but I am going to be looking into it. I am going to be diving in further, but it just wasn't the thing for today. So amazing balance and energy reset today. Felt really good, as well as getting lots done and working effectively for business. So it was great. Um, so yeah, that is what I have for you guys today, and I will talk to you tomorrow.